All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Traversing the Veil. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D campaigns set in my weird, messed up homebrew D&D campaign setting, and the people below me are all kind enough to be here. Yeah. Announcements. The new D&D 2024 Player's Handbook is now officially out for everyone. It's been in early access for a couple of weeks.
Just can't seem to get it
Reviews
to
are
bring it up on D&D
mixed.
Beyond.
I made an entire in-depth review and actually a couple different videos where I've talked about my particular opinions on it. Overall, it's a book that was published. And
it exists.
Yeah.
it involves D&D. I will allow you to watch my 3.5-hour video to come to your own conclusions. In addition to that, it was just announced, I think, yesterday, Dagger Hearts, the new RPG that is being published by Darrington Press, which is the publishing arm of Critical Role, has announced pre-orders are available for Daggerheart. There's two different things you can get. You can get the core set, which comes with the book and then a box of a bunch of power and race and class cards in it. That looks very, very cool. Or you can get the limited edition, which includes that and a lot of other things. Go to their website to figure out exactly all the stuff in there, but it's $150 for the limited edition. So pick what you want. They do mention if you purchase it, you do get a PDF for free, which is nice. I don't know if that's going to always be a thing that they do, but I do know a lot of different companies, like Renegade does that with all of their pre-orders for the Essence 20 stuff, is if you buy the physical book, you get the PDF for free for pre-order, and then normally for a few weeks after it goes on sale. So that in and of itself is cool. I'm excited. I enjoyed the look that I got during the... they called it a beta, which was stupid because it's not a beta, it's a playtest. But I enjoyed the looks that I got in the playtest. I think it's going to be a really cool game system. Yeah. I made a video talking about the pricing strategy they were using because I never get to talk. I spent like a year learning pricing strategy and all that dumb marketing shit, and I never get to use it. So I'm going to make videos and talk about pricing strategy, and you're going to listen to them. All 4 people that watched it.
It's a variation of Galaxy Quest.
It's how it works.
I learned about this. It's stupid, but I'm going to talk about it, okay?
It's how it works. So yeah, overall, the release window for the pre-orders says sometime in spring 2025, which generally means it's going to come out sometime between March and June. Tends to be what spring 2025 means. Whether or not that actually happens, we don't know. You know, there could be printing problems, there could be changes that they make. We're just hoping that it happens at that point. But yeah, so that's really exciting and cool. Trying to think if there's anything else big going on in the tabletop world right now.
There was a Kickstarter for a thing called Sync. I believe one of the football nerds, Stratton, was involved with that, and apparently within 10 minutes they met their goal.
Shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I found out recently in February, either January or February of this year, if anyone here is familiar with 8-bit theater.
Yes.
It's old school
Yeah,
sprite-based
I read
comic.
your book.
In the arena of logic, I fight unarmed.
Yep. Old school sprite-based comics. One of the most popular sprite-based comics of all time. They ran a Kickstarter to make an 8-bit theater tabletop RPG. It was funded in 10 minutes.
As it should be.
That happened all the way back in, like I said, February this year. I didn't find out about it until like a week ago. Because I have poor impulse control, I now own the 8-bit theater tabletop RPG. It cost me all of $9. And calling it a tabletop RPG is a bit of a stretch, but it's funny, it's cute. I hope to run a session of it one day, and I hope, like, in the stretch goals that they mentioned in the Kickstarter, they mentioned adding a bunch more characters that you could play as. In the version that I got, there are only 4 characters, which are Fighter, Black Mage, Thief, and Red Mage. Which, if you know the comic strip, you know what they entail. So I'm hoping that all the stretch goals are eventually going to be able to purchase outside, because it is really... 8-Bit Theater still exists on the internet. Like, you could read the entire comic. And it's still fun to read. Like, it's amazing. It's got a lot of references to... Like, it started in 2001. So... And it ended in 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. So it's dated, but it's funny. And there are sword chucks and kamehamehas, and it's just nonsense.
They're not kamehamehas, they are Hadoukens.
Oh yeah,
Hadoukens,
Hadoukens,
powered
sorry.
by love. And by that I mean they siphon a bit of love out of the universe whenever they are used.
That was part of my childhood. That and HomestarRunner.com. Like, that was high school for me, because that was when I finally had friends that I didn't meet through church, and because of that, I was shown all the things that I wasn't allowed. Like, I learned about the Bare Naked Ladies and Coldplay.
He means the band, for those of you who do not understand that reference.
Okay,
They
here's a
still
question
exist, kind of.
for you. Here's a question for you, Jody, in terms of like old sprite comics from the days of yore. If you've loved 8-Bit Theater, have you ever read a webcomic called Bob and George?
I know of Bob and George. I didn't read it, but it inspired 8-Bit Theater.
Okay, yeah. 8-Bit Theater is to Final Fantasy what Bob and George is to Mega Man.
Yeah, it's a great comic.
And it is just as dumb, and I love it. And it, too, is still live to this day.
Yeah, you can still... It's weird with how litigious some companies are. They never did anything to either of those two things. It has been funny. 8-Bit Theater has released a hardbound version of 8-Bit Theater, like an actual book of it. But because they
Evan,
didn't
you
want to
had the book and we're
I contributed as part of the Kickstarter, and I have the hardcover script book.
Yeah.
And my name is listed in the backers, in the back of the book.
But the thing about the book is there's no artwork in it because he didn't want to get sued. And so it's literally just the script with descriptions in it. So it's a novelized version of 8-Bit Theater.
That's why it's literally called the 8-Bit Theater Script Book Do Not Sue Edition. That is the full canon name.
So anyway, yeah. So there's cool stuff going on constantly. We're getting real close. October 1st is when the backer kit for Welcome to Night Vale, the tabletop RPG, is going to go live. Renegade is going to be adapting Essence 20 to Welcome to Night Vale, so they're running a Kickstarter for that. There was something else that was going to be happening in October, but I can't remember what it was now. When October comes, I'll probably remember, or I won't. We can never tell with how my brain works. So, yeah. Anything else going on in the D&D world or tabletop world as a whole?
I got nothing.
Cool. Well, then I believe it is time for us to return to Traversing the Veil. Plans change. The party have been trying to figure out what was going on. Oh no, Smegwick's camera just suddenly stopped working. And I can't find the right one to do that. But
I have other ways to harass you. You want to test me?
The party has been trying to figure out what the actual motivation behind a recent what seems to be trap set for them or Anonymous or someone. And after exhausting all of their ability to infer, they went and started scouting the area, and they discovered some quite troubling inferences. They discovered that most of the buildings around the meeting place had been abandoned, and the only people left seemed to be guards in various states of understanding what was going on. That a lot of the traps that they were worried about seemed to not be quite as deadly as they could have been. And for the most part, they found more questions than answers. And as they were about to retreat and digest all the information they had gotten, suddenly they found that the meeting itself had been moved forward, and they had barely 30 minutes to decide on a plan of action. And that is where we return. So, go there. All right. So we talked about this before we went live because I've been having a very bad brain day for a little while now. So what happened most recently? You guys went through the town and searched a couple of the buildings, but I don't think you went into any of them. And basically just did as much as you could to kind of create a perimeter around this central tavern and kind of spot any really dangerous places. Which you guys were able to kind of confer things like the murder tower seems to be something that could be used to murder. And then you found some other things that you didn't quite have the time to investigate, like some places with some arcane sigils on the ground and other places that would make really good places for murdering to happen, but they weren't set up for that, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, am I missing anything else? There are no, like, I want to see if I have this set
Reggie
up.
found thieves' cants that essentially said, "Stay out. Shit's gonna go down."
Yeah, as you guys can see, they just made a crap ton of notes. That's all the notes that they made.
Yeah, and I think we tried to take that information and report it to the one, like the one spy that was actively like trying to help us out. Not the changelings, but like the other ones.
Ishmael.
Thank you. Ishmael, thank you. But yeah, I think that's what we tried to get into contact with him. Nothing was working. And then right then we were told that everything's moving forward.
Wait, time to run.
Oh God.
We're supposed to find the changeling.
So, that being said, you guys roughly have about the 30 minutes, and you guys are located here where that little dude is with the cool hat. So, what do you all want to do?
Where are they coming from?
Your understanding is the sovereignty group will be coming from the north here.
Okay.
And I don't think you guys have, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you guys have discovered who they're meeting with at all, right? Like
It's
that,
never been stated who they're meeting with.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's not, and so because you don't know who it is that they're meeting with, you also don't know where they're coming from. They may come from the same place. They may come from somewhere else, but you guys haven't been able to figure out anything on that route. So
Where is Spitwit right now?
I
With
believe
us.
he's with you.
Yeah.
With us.
He's still in Tressum form.
And we know for a fact that this important person that we need to basically get him out of there to like stop all the meetings. We know he's being guarded by what were they called? Blade dancers? Blade
Blade
singers?
singers.
Blade
Yeah.
singers.
It's
Very,
a
Okay.
very experienced Eladrin
yeah.
toward art magic wonder.
Do we know what blade singers look like? Like their uniform, their weapons? Like, do we have any information of what they look like, or are they too being subtle with their presence? Do we know that at least?
Allie might know.
There
We know
isn't-
blades, we know what they are, but we don't know what
There
they
isn't
look
technically
like.
like a uniform for a
Yeah.
blade singer. It's a fighting style.
Fighting style.
Arai would
I
be the.
never saw my dad in a uniform.
I was about to say, Arai would to be blunt, Arai would probably be able to pick out a blade singer, just because her dad's a blade singer,
His.
and so she understands.
Kids.
His dad. I'm very sorry. His dad's a blade singer, and so she's familiar with kind of because it is a very different fighting
Okay.
style, and so they do tend to stand a little bit differently. But
And
blade
so-
singing is not a fighting style that's taught at the academy because it's
Okay.
a protected Eladrin style. There's
And
very
Smeg
few
would
have at
Eladrin
least-
that will teach it to non-Eladrin.
Yeah.
And Smegwick would have at least heard of them, considering his time.
Yeah,
with,
you
with the
probably
Feywild.
you probably got
You're warned
probably
about
like
them.
you probably got like a little dossier or something that would explain if you ever find a blade singer. Most of what you would have been told would be
Kiss your
these
ass
are the
goodbye.
things. Well, these are the ways that they can stop you from getting away. So you would be very familiar with things like lightning lure, which is a spell that they use to literally lasso someone and drag
Yep.
them back.
Oh.
Which hurts. Don't get in trouble and try and run away from your blade singer.
Yeah.
Because,
and
um,
other things that they're really good, like they're known for using blink spells and blur spells to make them significantly more difficult to hit.
Okay, and dumb question, but just to make sure that we officially have it on record, we know that Arai's father is a blade singer, right?
I think did
I
he
don't think
say
it was ever
that?
detailed.
Did you
No,
ever
I-
explicitly tell that to us?
No, he
I
didn't
know-
tell you guys.
I know Arai
Yeah.
has told you guys that he was familiar with blade sing, like he recognized what a blade singer was. So I think
Yeah.
Arai gave you guys some information about blade singers, right?
Yeah, because Ismail gave us that information.
Yeah. So
'Cause-
yeah, you guys know that Arai knows about blade singers, but I don't think I don't think Arai has given
yeah,
very
I
much
think
information
he
about
was-
his backstory at all.
Yeah,
So then-
he was too much into depression at what he found out about his parents.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, this is
one
bad.
one
was
idea I
saying
had.
was
Oh,
depressed
that
again.
depression.
It's just like,
I was like,
depression-
you meant Arai depressed?
I was thinking the last time Arai and Esmiel met, he didn't seem very depressed.
No.
Because the idea
He might have
I
been
had-
pressing something, but not depressed.
He was
Whoa,
depressing something.
Jody.
Because the idea I had, because like we know of blade singers, and we have someone in our party who's familiar with them to a greater extent than the rest of us are. Maybe we're thinking about this the wrong way. All this time we kept on trying to think about how do we find the MVP that we're trying to like warn out of here and to stop the meetings. Maybe we're focusing on the wrong person. Maybe instead of trying to find some way to find the MVP, let's find the blade singers who are guarding him.
Well, that was
Like-
one of the things that we did talk about as well.
I know, but what if we could just like give as many of those details as we could as like what makes a blade singer stand out? Give it to Spitwit, have him just do an aerial view over the
He
city.
cannot fly right now.
He cannot fly? Okay.
That was part of his disguise. Remember, you helped disguise him so he wouldn't. Because Jody basically said, "Cat with wings don't get picked off."
Okay, so yeah, that part I forgot. Actually, wait a minute. Why? Say that again. Why can't he fly? Just so I have it straight.
We helped disguise him so he looks like a normal cat.
Yeah, Tressums are a very well-known familiar for wizards in general, and they're not native. So if somebody sees a Tressum wandering around, they're going to assume it's a familiar. Someone sees a cat wandering around, they're going to assume it's a cat.
It's a cat.
I know this might be a bit of a stretch, and something tells me there's going to be some reason why we can't do this, but this is one of the ideas I have. Why can't I just put invisibility on Spitwit?
There's nothing
Because-
stopping you.
You
To your
can if you want
knowledge.
to, but just as a heads up, we've surmised you tried that once before when we touched down.
Yeah.
You got snatched.
Now I've tried that on myself. Yeah.
I
So-
think it's the whole magic part that was detected, not you, but you were detected as well.
So again,
It
in
was more
a
the magic.
in a world where the ability to turn someone invisible is a second level spell?
Yes, it is second level.
Okay. So in a world where you don't really need that much magical training to be able to turn someone invisible, part of security services would normally be, well, what if someone's invisible? Because anyone with a second level or a third level wizard friend can turn them invisible. So that would be something that's normally thought of. And that I think we've talked this kind of logic before of
Yeah.
Granted, it has been a while.
yes.
Okay, so that's
I
what
apologize
because
about that.
oh, because again, the one thing I'm all hung up on is like we just now know a timeline because now it's down quite literally to the wire, but we still don't know what this guy is, what he looks like, what direction he's coming from. We just know that he has now just arrived and he's got however many blade singers with him, 2 of them, thank you. But unless we know all of the other details about him,
Yeah,
Then
we
we're
don't
just
have anything
as
to
I-
go off of.
As I said in relation to Spegwick's question, you do know where he's coming from. He's
Oh.
coming from the north,
Oh.
down this road that I pointed to like 5 minutes ago. I'm even making it blink
Yeah.
now on the map.
and I'm still wearing the guard uniform, I still have I have my concept of a plan of I could just like in full guard armor as I am now, I can just possibly again, we're most likely being watched right now by those changeling assassins. They're probably like looking out at windows laughing at us right now.
Yeah,
because
I
they
mean,
because they fully expect us to just sit back and just let them do their job because they think that we're just completely helpless right now. So I still stand by my personal idea that we just do something completely unexpected and off script. They expect us to be subtle, so let's not be subtle.
Cool, let's
and
go
just-
back to the runes that we saw that were glowing on the floor and then just find out what they do.
Honestly,
It's a
I
valid plan. I mean, I see no downside to this.
You
I
see,
agree.
honestly, there's that idea.
Alright.
There's the idea where I just walk up to the guy, hands outstretched, not a threat, like, dude, you got to get out of here. And just make it blunt, make it visible, and then we just book it.
I'm just going to point one thing out, just one. Anyone that breaks script might get picked off.
Yeah.
Make it
Just
blunt,
let
make
it
it
be.
grunt, make
Yeah.
it gay.
But then again, would they pick me off?
You
we're
can
gonna
find
be in the
out.
middle. It's in the middle of the
There's
street.
one way. There's one way.
Yeah, I mean,
Reggie, do you have a backup character?
I
I'm
have
just-
4.
Do you-
I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to answer a question with a question. So please forgive me. What is it about the Tempest sovereignty that makes you think they're not going to bring the hammer down?
They're already trying to bring the hammer down.
Yes, and we've been dodging. Just let
Yeah.
you know, you want to.
And
in
I'm
the
just
moment,
saying-
I don't think I can stop you.
And I'm just saying, we need to stop dodging and we need to start just freaking leaping.
Agreed. I just don't want you to do a lemming.
yeah.
I'm just going to point this out. The first 4 combats that happened in this campaign, Reggie spent most of it unconscious. So it's not that he's inexperienced at floor tanking.
At one point, we measured hit points by a measurement of Reggie.
Look, time's running out. We got to figure out how to get word to this guy to just get the frick out of here.
Well, remember the real thing we were trying to. We were either going to make it look like something bad went down to the Aqueous, or we were going to try and like out the Aqueous. Those were the two options we had, and given the situation as it stands right now, I don't know how viable either of those are.
Yeah, because for all we know, literally everyone else in that intersection could be Aqueous right now.
They normally operate in smaller numbers, was what we were informed of last time.
Yeah, they told us that.
Yeah, how would we know they weren't lying about that?
No, I'm not taking Aqueous' word. I'm talking about the intel we got about Aqueous.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you got it from Smegwick, because, again, when he was a scout,
yeah.
he had to deal with them.
Right,
so.
because he had those past experiences.
Yeah, between Smegwick and Ismail.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's normally like...
There's a whole section of Smegwick's backstory that you guys have never really had a chance to explore, and it's just all coming to the forefront now.
Well, to be fair, you've also brought a lot of the stuff that I was unaware of too, and I played along.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's either out Aqueous, which is not likely. It could be anyone in this immediate area that we're in right now. It's going to be, as you say, pretty impossible to just bluntly approach the target, because either I'm going to get picked off, as you say, or the Blade Singers are going to do it, and they'll take my head before I even have a chance to say anything. Ultimately,
well, if you just blunder in, I mean, if you want to think of something else, absolutely you could do that. I just don't want you to go like, "Hey guys," and then,
"Hey you guys."
A penitent man kneel. Oh, too late.
Reggie loved Chunk. But ultimately, we need to somehow get this guy spooked so that he gets out of here. And if you think about it, if you think about how assassins work, like using Aqueous, for example, they're expecting him to come this way. And as we've seen, there's a lot of people here that are just playing parts. And apparently if you interrupt those, and if you interrupt their performance, they'll get ticked at you and follow you, and then possibly knocked out in an alleyway where we take their armor. So what if instead, another idea, what if instead, kind of going off of Arai's idea here, we just need to do something huge. Doesn't need to be us directly, but something that would just throw a wrench in something. Like, we just set off an explosion. Just somewhere. Just somewhere in the area. Just something that wouldn't cause any, damage or hurt anyone, but would spook people enough that they just start running. You can't control, just wildcats when they're running everywhere.
I wonder, is there anything that you guys have found thus far that might create a large disturbance? Arai, do you think you found anything that might cause a large disturbance?
Maybe. Arai has found a lot of things that can create large disturbances.
Okay, but is it anything that can cause a big disturbance?
What I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. What if you guys found a giant sigil on the ground?
Oh.
It came to me out of nowhere, being the dungeon master.
You're so smart.
A random dude just shows up while you guys are planning, goes, "What about, isn't there a big, and
hey guys, I just want to talk about the sigil. Bye." Who was that guy that looked like Will Wheaton?
I knew it. I knew that's what you were doing.
Oh no.
Okay.
His name was Aelbel.
Okay, with that being said though, Jody, can you please, because again, it has been a while, can you please just review the details of what the sigil is, where it is?
Sure, while you're doing that, Arai's gonna go move the token towards the sigil that says Arcane Sigil on the ground.
Okay, perfect. So we know it's right there.
Legitimately, that's what Arai just said.
We saw glowing sigils, And Smegwick couldn't
Of
tell what they
course.
were because Spitwick wasn't able to see them clearly because he accidentally gave himself away, being a non-stealthy kitty. They were very, very worried about it. So, ta-da!
So yeah, as far as you guys can tell, it takes you that whole conversation. Let's say took 10 minutes, and to get here took 10 minutes total.
Shoot.
We got 20 minutes left.
So
Crap.
the only way that you can kind of get into this area here is through the bottom right here, because everything else is just kind of solid. The houses themselves are kind of built right up next to each other, and there's no real alleys or anything. If you go to are you guys coming down here since the token moved back?
I was emphasizing it for Reggie.
Oh, okay. Well,
Our current position is here.
Yes.
so wait. This is where you are right now.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we were when we
So
got away.
do you want to go down here or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming we have to physically be close enough to the sigil to do whatever it does.
Well, to get more information
to
about
screw
it,
with it? Yes.
you have to be able to see it.
Yeah,
is
so
what I'm saying.
my point exactly. We have to physically
Okay.
move over there.
So you guys make it over here. That conversation plus moving only took 10 minutes.
Okay,
So-
still got 20 minutes.
So looking in, they do have a kind of makeshift barricade in place where it's not like actually nailed together or anything, but they've stacked various things to make getting to this sigil very, very difficult. But because they don't want it to look like they're barricading them, they're just like barrels and tables and stuff like that that look like they might naturally be there. Yes, Smegrick?
Just to say, while we're down here, I will leave Spitty over here just being a cat
Yeah.
to like. Since we have telepathic communication, he can just like hey,
sticking its leg up and like licking and
How far in is the sigil from the barricade?
getting close enough to see it.
It's in the
basically
courtyard.
Right.
Basically the entire center of this courtyard is taken up by this sigil. So the sigil itself is easily about 15 feet in diameter, and it's circular. So it's a massively large sigil. And it goes right up to, the barricade is about halfway down this thing. And so it's maybe another like 5 to 10 feet from the
Okay.
end of the barricade to where the sigil starts.
So it's
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist big.
Yes, very, very big.
Okay.
15 to 20 feet.
So do we know what kind of sigil it is?
couldn't tell.
Anyone
We
with
couldn't tell.
actual, now that you're close enough, anyone with actual arcane training can roll me an Arcana check.
Does it have to be proficient?
No, as long as you can cast spells effectively,
Okay.
you can roll an Arcana check.
Practice roll, practice roll, practice roll.
You can
roll,
cast
roll,
iron.
roll,
Thank
roll.
you.
I can stab you with my pike.
Oh, yay.
11.
Okay,
12.
12. Reggie, you gonna try or no?
No, I don't have any training in arcane, so
Actually, with my history of studying with my parents and going into the runes, do I have any?
I'll let you roll with disadvantage because this is not something you are experienced in, but you might have gleaned it through osmosis.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'll
you can
take
roll it with disadvantage.
All right.
And Reggie, can you cast
Oh.
spells?
I can cast spells, but I've
So
never
you have
really
arcane
thought that-
training.
Okay, then you know what?
So
I will
if you
give it a shot.
would like to, you don't have to. But that's all I mean by arcane training is can you cast spells?
No.
Okay.
Full disclosure, I
Not
rolled.
full string magic.
I got an 11, but
Okay.
just to ask, would I get advantage being with sovereignty stuff?
Not for this one,
Not fair.
unfortunately.
Okay, cool.
Good
Okay,
good
then.
question, but no.
Okay, then you know what? I am gonna give it a shot. You said it was an Arcana check.
Yep.
Okay, I'm actually gonna be rolling with my dice tower this time.
So I got a 5 at disadvantage.
Okay.
I got a 3.
It's shiny.
It is shiny.
Very
It
shiny.
looks like something that shouldn't be played with. I'm down.
Practice roll.
I got a 3. I'm right next to Orion going, ooh, shiny.
So yeah, with all of your combined stuff, the one thing you can tell, this is not. I guess, what would be referred to as a sigil of warding, where when you step on it, it activates.
Ooh.
Beyond that, you got nothing. I will let you guys go ahead and roll me perception
We do know-
checks.
So we do know it's prepared.
God.
We know it's active,
Yeah, prepared, active, and it doesn't
Oh.
not warning.
it doesn't trigger on someone stepping on it or crossing a barrier or something.
For Owie, this isn't bad. 13.
13. All right. Anyone else with a perception check?
20.
20.
Not
cool.
nat 20.
The regular roll, since
let's
is not
see.
with me right now.
Perception is... Oh, I got a 19.
Okay.
12.
Smigwick? 12. Cool. So the rest of you, one of the things you kind of notice is, as much as the sigil is here, nothing else is. Like, you're looking around, you don't see guards stationed here. You don't see casters stationed here that are ready to activate anything. Like, it is kind of barren. Arai, on the other hand, as you're going, ooh, shiny, you start tracing the lines, going, shiny line, shiny line, shiny line, ooh, shiny spot, shiny line, shiny line. And you notice the windows themselves in this place have been set up in a way to make it look like there's nothing inside. Kind of,
Oh.
not quite like a two-way or a one-way mirror kind of thing, but they specifically been positioned at angles so if anyone was to look inside, it would look like everything is empty. But there's just a little tiny corner of one of the windows where you see just the glint of metal. And that's enough for you to kind of focus a little bit more and kind of stick your head out a little bit further. And you can see, the only thing you're able to see is the edge of a longbow with an arrow knocked.
Oh, they're waiting for us.
Guys, check out that right there. Do you see that little corner right there? Just the second window on top to the left, on the very left hand. Do you see that right there?
Wait a
okay.
minute.
That's an arrow. Don't get shot.
Trap?
So it looks like something we're not supposed to mess with. How are we going to mess with it? How are we going to trip it? How are we going to...
Maybe knock down the barricade?
Well, but that's the easy part, is to getting through. It's figuring out the best way to demolish something without getting hurt
Giant
ourselves.
flag.
Yes. You run across the field with.
So wait a minute. So this is a door with Jody. With how do you describe this window that the little arrow is kind of like knocked in that little corner? So is this a window that is just like ever so barely ajar, like in the corner?
What it is
Like-
is the window is set in such a way that the light from the sigils and the light from the sky is making it basically impossible to look through, except for a tiny, tiny corner that Arai was able to spot the edge of a longbow and an arrow knocked.
Does this window look like it has hinges, or does it look like it can be opened at all?
Yes, opens outward. It is put at a particular angle to ensure that the light and everything is going to make it as difficult as possible to see through it. So this isn't illusion magic. This is understanding how light works. That they've used to do this.
I know it doesn't explicitly say in the spell, but Jody, just to ask if it could work, just to see what would happen and to make sure that we're all like out of the way so none of us get shot, could I cast knock on the window?
Good question. Because knock can be used to open, literally open doors, not just unlock them, if I remember
Door,
correctly.
boxes, chests, manacles, padlocks, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevent access. So maybe like a window latch or something. If it's unlocked, then the thing opens. But if it is locked, it unlocks, but it doesn't open.
With that description of the spell, you personally do not know if it would work, but if you understand the situation correctly, you think that you could open the window remotely using knock. Like I said, the only information that Reggie has right now is that the window is technically slightly ajar. Not enough that you could actually see into it, but it's just slightly ajar to reflect light in a way that makes it so you can't see through it. So with that knowledge, you would think, well, it's not locked, so if I cast knock on it, it should theoretically open.
Yeah, that is where my brain is going.
That's what Reggie knows, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Maybe, like, Reggie could use knock, and if it flies open, one of us can do a ranged attack on the sniper, and maybe
Well,
since
it was set up like this, the whole building was set up like this. Or I imagine there's more than just one window.
Yeah,
or
checks.
one.
With a 20, you were able to kind of look, and every single, like, you effectively got lucky in the idea that you were able to see this little thing. All the other windows are positioned in a way that just because of how the light is hitting them, you can't tell what's on the other side.
Right. So sorry. My point to that was, or my point to Aoi was more of, they have this one person set up strategically, or like in this one window set up so strategically with someone behind it. It would not surprise me if the other windows also had people behind them. So shooting one person might be great.
Cat?
What?
Pupper?
Bella, what? Go get him.
Aw.
Go get him. Sorry.
The pupper required attention.
Aw.
Oh, going for a walk. Let's
The
see.
doggo
There's
needs
probably other
walkies.
people. Yes. There's probably other people waiting, basically, to protect this, because this is obviously something very important.
So that's off the table.
Well, again, as far as I understand your guys' plan, you effectively want to trip the trap in a big way. Is that what you guys have been discussing? Because that's what it sounded like to me that you were discussing
Yes.
thus far.
Yeah.
Yes, but we just don't want to get shot and made dead while we trip the trap.
I think
Either
that's a valid. It's a
But
valid
we
want.
know it's not going to get popped off just by crossing it. That's the thing. So
Ultimately, like these buildings have an inside to them, right? They're just styled in such a way to make them look deserted because of like the angling and the lighting.
Yeah, they're real. They're real buildings.
And even though we're seeing it at
They're not theater flats.
But even though we are looking through these windows in such a, like, an artificial way, we can see inside them. We're just seeing them at an angle where there's not anything in there because of angling.
How far away is the archer?
30-ish, 35, maybe 40 feet.
I think you need a line of sight if you're thinking what I think you're thinking.
Maybe.
I have an alternative idea for you, Rai. Because we can.
Anytime it's like I hear how far away are they or what clothing are they wearing, I start to worry.
What? All right. What
I
if
just
I can
haven't
get
given
you
you
in
guys a
closer?
hook shot yet, so.
All right. What if I can get you in closer? Because
Arai hugs Reggie. How close?
Reggie hugs you back. I
Ooh.
have dimension door.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say dementia.
Wait, what do you think I was gonna say?
Dementia.
I wish I knew who you were. But you're fun to squeeze, so I'm okay with this.
All right, Gladys. Here's the plan.
By the way, do you know my name?
Yeah, it's Gertrude.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
All right, Alice. So here's the plan. What if I just simply cast Dimension Door put one entrance out here, out of line of sight from these archers, and the other one inside the building, and then we just walk right in.
Ooh.
Sure. And then we can find out how to make it explode.
I
Are you guys wanting to explode the sigil?
I mean, it looks very important. We should do something to it.
Plus, this place is deserted. It's not like anyone who matters is gonna get hurt.
And I'm not very good at modifying or nullifying things, so destroying is basically how I do that.
I have fireball.
Well,
Okay.
uh,
I still want to go inside though. Because now that's an option.
Right. As soon as you dangle that in front of Arai, it's like, no, this is what we're doing. I want-
There's
would-
adventure on the other side of that dimension door.
Jody doesn't need a plot hook, he just needs a laser pointer.
Like, again, they're expecting us to probably, like, go in through a window and face whoever's behind the window directly, or bust down a door, which is possibly also trapped. Let's just quite literally make our own way inside.
Okay, we're signing up for chaos. I have to step away for 2 seconds.
He's like, chaos has to happen when I'm not here because I'm bringing the reason.
yeah, I mean, if theoretically, he were to, like, cast fireball and set off the sigil, would be enough of a radius to get everyone.
And we don't know.
What-
We also don't know too much about it. Like, we don't know the levels of protections that we can't physically see are around the sigil. And that way, if we go inside, we might be able to see, hey, is there some sort of mechanism or something that they're going to do in order to trip it? Is it waiting for something specific? Is there special documents? Are there people that we can strip of clothing? Like, so many different questions that we could answer.
But at the
If
same
there are
time,
people we get stripped.
How many
the
people
question
That's
do
we
why
you
you
really
make
caught-
naked? FYI, this conversation has been going on for another about 10 minutes.
dang it.
Shit.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
All of those are indeed factors, right? But here's the ultimate question: how many of that stuff? And I'm not saying this to invalidate those thoughts, because those are valid thoughts. But now the question is, how many of them actually need to be taken seriously? And on that note, I just had an alternative idea. We can use Dimension Door, put one door out here, one door inside the building, and launch Fireball through the Dimension Doors into the inside of the
Oh.
building.
I will
Set the
say,
building on fire.
Dimension Door transmits people, not spell effects.
God damn it. Okay, never
Your
mind.
hand goes through it.
Damn
No, I'm kidding.
The hand can go through, and then you just pull it out. Actually, you know, that...
Unless your hand can do the verbal components.
Oh, sound can't go through? Dang.
Going to say, with the way that magic works, I'm not going to let you guys use Dimension Door as a way to send spells.
God damn it. Okay.
Fair.
It already works super, super well for what it's designed to do.
Then option number one still stands. I can make a Dimension Door from out here and make the other one inside the building. We go in there, we screw things up.
Or how about this? How about now that Smegwick's back? Hello. Now that you're back, how
Hi.
about we set up the Dimension Door sort of as a plan B? We can shoot off a fireball, see if there's any protection, if it's going to alert anything, and if we do start to see movement, then we can use the Dimension Door to go inside, and then we can cause more chaos.
Sorry, I was having trouble playing audio channels.
It's okay. It's been 10 minutes, so we have 10 minutes left.
Fuck.
I'm all for a Rise plan because, again, they want us to either do nothing or try to sneak our way to our goals here. Let's be loud about this.
I haven't used Dimension Door before.
Okay, if you want,
So,
I'm just saying,
clarification on the spell. Dimension Door specifically states you teleport yourself from your current location to any other spot within range. It doesn't actually create a stable doorway. It is an instantaneous teleportation.
yeah, it's like site to
So
site.
it wouldn't like the
you
other
can-
portal wouldn't be like inside the house.
Yeah, like you can teleport inside the house, and you can even bring someone with
Oh.
you, but it doesn't
Yep.
leave a door.
Yeah.
Or at least the legacy version doesn't. I'm going to check
No.
to see.
Yeah,
the
I
newer
haven't
one
There is
clicked on it right.
there is a spell like that. It's a high level called Arcane Gate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I got
Fourth
Dimension Door
edition
opened
Dimension
up,
Door
Jody.
works that way.
Okay, that's probably what I was thinking of. All right, never mind then.
Just
Um,
FYI,
still-
I mean, if you want to do that, we can go 1, 2, 3. I have Misty Step.
Yeah, same.
I mean, we all do, but it's just the distance.
Yeah, the difference being Misty Step requires line of sight and Dimension Door does not. And you guys actually don't have a line of sight to the inside of the building.
Shit.
We could if we use knock, and knock opens the window. But if knock
That
doesn't
would
open
work.
the window,
I
if
can.
knock doesn't open the window, then it alerts them that there's something there. So we can knock and fireball and then get in, or we can.
I cast knock. Smegwick casts fireball through the window.
Which is well
Now-
within the range of Fireball.
Just a clarification, do we want to? Is the goal to fuck up the sigil, or is the goal to make a distraction?
Oh?
Yes.
I don't know. So I think part of the problem is that since we don't know what the sigil is or what the sigil is going to do, maybe it's going to create an explosion, or maybe like it's how the person is going to warp into this place. If warp, like we don't know the purpose of it. So
Theoretically,
Destroying is
it
always a good
could create a bunch of glitter after the agreement is signed.
it's fireworks. Success.
Jody, how does the sigil actually look? Does it look like a glowing symbol, like
Yes.
drawn
Yeah,
in the ground?
really
So-
big, like with Smegwick referenced
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep.
It's what it looks. It's
FMA.
a big, glowing drawing on the floor that's
Because-
made in a circle.
Because we got a sigil in here, and then we got like archers hiding in this building, all aimed towards the sigil. Like,
I didn't
Thing is hard
say
to protect.
I didn't say that the archers were aiming at anything. I said
Oh.
the bow that you saw had an arrow knocked, not drawn, just
Oh.
knocked.
oh,
Yeah, you don't want to keep pulling back on a bowstring unless you're prepared
Yeah.
to shoot it.
Yeah, that's true.
Even with a compound bow, that would not be a fantastic thing to do.
It's a great way to work out, though.
So just an
Very
arrow
much
is
so.
right. So just an arrow is right there, but it's
It's at the ready. It's not
fingers
Yeah.
off the trigger right now, but it's aimed or something.
Not aimed. It's
No,
just,
no,
it's
not aimed.
It's just sitting on the bow, ready to like. Once you have the arrow knocked, it is very easy to go from just chilling to ready to shoot, because the arrow's already on the rest. If you have a rest on your bow and it's already knocked on the string, all you have to do is pull it back and fire. So that's what Arai saw is. The arrow is basically sitting on the rest for the bow.
Well, then I think that's even better. Then we can totally just knock the window open
Yep.
and just go right in. We'll catch them slightly more unawares if there even is anyone in here. I say we do it that way.
All right.
All right. So, plan is to use knock to open the window, go through the window, or plan is to fireball the sigil.
Well, my whole dimension door idea was because I thought that arrow was like ready to be fired, but then Jody specified that it's just knocked right now, but it's not like pulled back and ready to go. So that
Yes, but
kind of
he
makes
can. A good sniper will get a shot off quickly.
Right. And the distance, again, with the dimension door that Jody mentioned, is you don't actually have to be able to see inside. So theoretically, you could also use a dimension door to go inside. That way, if the window doesn't open with a knock when not alerting anyone, you're already there and you can do something about the person holding the bow at the window.
which then begs the question, and this probably doesn't matter in the long run, but just in case, should I take someone with me?
Again,
course.
you have 1 unit of Reggie HP. So yes.
If things go poorly, how do they know what happened if you're dead?
Oh, I lost 1 unit of Reggie. Shit.
That's okay. I have like 5 more.
Okay,
Yes, let's
So,
go.
we're doing it.
I say
So-
we're doing it.
okay,
Smegwick, you're going to be hanging out here, ready to.
Well, I'm gonna have to if you want the sigil fucked with. I can
Right.
catch up with you guys if the window's open.
Right.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay.
So are we wanting distraction more than fucking the sigil up?
It seems very important, and if we want to really disrupt this meeting, it makes sense to kind of fuck it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a way to fuck it up potentially a little bit more.
Good.
Ooh.
Good. All right, shall I cast knock on the window?
Are you casting knock or are you going in Dimension Door? Dimension Door, you don't need line of sight.
I thought, okay, this might be my own misunderstanding. I thought I was gonna do both, honestly, because I can.
Well, technically in rules
So there
of
will be
combat situation,
6
you
seconds
can do,
between
Yeah.
you casting the first spell and casting the second spell. And in that 6 seconds, anyone nearby will have a chance to react to the first spell being cast.
So let's go through Dimension Door,
Okay.
All right, who
and
am
then
I
we
taking
can take
with
care
me?
of things. Hello.
All
I'm
right
Five
then.
Reggies.
So if you want to do that, do you want to do 1, 2, 3? You go in, and then I do and Allie and I do my thing, and then if one of y'all can open up the window on your next opportunity, then we can follow suit as soon as we do our thing.
Okay.
All right, we'll do it. So,
Reggie, you're on window duty. I'm on punching duty.
all right, awesome. I put a hand on Arai, and then I activate Dimension Door.
Okay. So the
Which
building
number
that you're
is-
going
which number
bring up?
into, do you want to appear basically right behind where the person is? Do you want to appear fully back into the house to where
Yeah,
somewhere?
not right behind the guy because I don't want to leave any room for someone getting behind me. So I'm
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the other end of the door closer to the back of the room so that there's less likely a chance of anyone being behind me. Of course,
Okay.
that means there's gonna be all this distance between me and the person, which is looking at the room. It's probably not that big, right?
I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe they knock down all the walls during a remodel.
Yeah, so
true.
what I'm going to have you do, just roll me an insight check for you to kind of guess what the interior of this this building is.
All right, so inside is.
Anyone else want to roll insight, or is it just?
This is
gonna
just going to
Reggie?
I
be
think
for
just
Reggie,
Reggie.
because Reggie's the
Okay.
one that actually has to do the
And that is
teleportation.
that's a 22.
22. Yeah.
Nice.
So looking at the building, you're just sitting there going, well, if I was designing this, I think I'm thinking, this building is probably about like 30 or 40 years old. Open plans are really not a big thing at that point. So I'm thinking we probably had a breakfast nook here, and this would be a good spot. And then I just need stealth checks from the both of you with advantage.
One of my classes in my noble days was interior design. Okay,
with
so
the
yeah,
Renaissance architecture, I'm thinking.
okay, we have to rearrange the couch over here so that the feng shui flows down from the mountain. Okay, so yeah, dimension door, closer to the back of the room, further from the window. Hand on Arai, we teleport.
Okay,
I mean, we're already still hugging. I got a 19.
19, cool. And then Reggie,
Thank you
stealth
for
check with
advantage.
advantage.
Oh, stealth check with advantage.
Yeah, because
Um,
they don't know that you're coming.
Okay, I feel happy that I'm finally using stealth. I can't remember the last time I used it. Okay, so that was.
I do. It was not successful.
21.
21. Cool.
Nice.
So, Arai, as you are grasping Reggie tenderly but firmly.
I think I don't think he ever let go of the hug.
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually. Now that I think about it, so yeah, we're still embracing.
So as you're both embracing, you can smell the kind of woody tannins of his aftershave. You suddenly feel kind of the world dissolve around yourself and Reggie, and then kind of reformulate itself, and you are suddenly in a very, very dark room. As you look around, you realize that Reggie has actually teleported you into a room on the other side of a wall from where that person is. The room that you are currently in, there's a doorway, no door in it, but there's a doorway that leads to where you think that person is standing. And the room that you're in, you guys actually appear on top of a table. You have teleported into the breakfast nook. And as you kind of get your bearings down, you were good enough that you didn't really make any sound other than the inevitable sound of a teleportation happening. But as you look forward through the open doorway, you see what seems to be a strange contraption that has various bits of metal and wood. It seems to have some sort of like base that it's sit on. It seems to expand into something, but a very quick glance really doesn't tell you much, aside from the fact that you can see things on the bottom that look like they're designed to kind of mount it, like a tripod of some sort.
Does it seem like it would be big or heavy?
Yes.
Is there, like, actual people in these rooms, or is it just the
I
contraption?
was just about to mention
Oh,
that. Around
all
the
right then.
contraption, you can see two very, very large, strong men that don't seem to be carrying any weapons, but on their backs, they have what look like enlarged quivers. And inside them, instead of what you would normally expect to see a bunch of arrows, you see these large ballista bolts.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
And as you look a little bit further, you can see there are a lot of people packed into a very small area. You can't see all of them because the wall eventually starts blocking off. But just from what you can see, in addition to the two very large men with the ballista backpacks on, you can see like 3 people that are all there. All of them have either crossbows or longbows. Heavy crossbows or longbows. And the first thing that you notice when you get in there, Arai, you would recognize this a little bit more than Reggie. There's kind of a scent in the air that's akin to like sweat and that, but there's more to it. There's this kind of tension. There's this kind of undeniable sense that happens right before you're about to go into a very dangerous situation. And Arai, you pick up on it immediately. These people are getting ready to go into a life or death situation.
Oh, they think they need all this to go up against the Blade Singers.
You might be muted.
Your voice, they probably do.
I'm assuming we're going to use the stage whisper technique, because if you speak quietly, I won't be able to hear you. So
Sorry,
I'm
I thought
assuming
my
you
game
guys
was
are
up
being
high
very
enough.
quiet.
Yes, okay, perfect. They probably do.
And we can either... What's with my mic? It's like really... Whoa. Okay, then.
We could hear you.
We are just fine.
yeah.
you're fine.
No, but for
You're
some
fine.
reason it's coming in like so much louder all of a sudden. I didn't touch anything.
Oh.
It's
That was...
your
Oh, now
headset.
it sounds normal. Okay, that was...
I will.
weird.
I will
It's your
say.
headset.
Arai, your experience of going into dangerous places, one of the things you always do is you watch your ass. They are not... they do not care about the room that you guys are currently in any way, shape, or form. They seem completely oblivious to the fact that they have left their backs open completely.
All right, so we got a lot of thugs here that are expecting something. So now I guess the question is, I got one more use of Dimension Door. We can either get on out of here, or we can actually do something in here. What do you think?
I really hate to be that guy, but my understanding was you were going to do this, and I was going to do my thing.
Yeah.
Which we
Yes.
can still do.
I'm about to.
Okay.
All right.
I really hate the because I thought the plan was you were going to Dimension Door, shenanigans, window open, and
Yeah,
I
thought you were waiting for the window to open before you did anything.
I know, and then I noticed, like, oh, these guys are huge.
Yeah, my understanding was the window open thing. Yes, that was the thing. Was like,
Okay.
So I'm like,
Okay. Well, I can still do that, and then we can just hide behind this wall in case a fireball is still incoming.
I'm gonna say
But yeah,
fireballs do wrap around walls.
Fuck. Okay.
It's in the spell description.
I don't have fireball, so I don't know.
So
Hold on.
less than a turn has gone on since you guys got in there. But
I'm
time
just
is
trying to figure
ticking.
out the best order of operations here.
From what you guys know right now, if you wanted to get to a spot where you could open the window, whether through knock or through physically opening it, you're going to at least have to go through the 2 large ballista backpack boys. There's that many people that are shoved into this tiny area that you won't even be able to get line of sight until you are one with them.
memory serves. Just FYI, knock is a verbal spell.
Well, to be perfectly honest, once the window opens, I think people will figure out something's going on.
I know, but he's also going to be like, window will open. You're going to hear some guy go, wicka bicka boo!
Jody, remind me again. From where Arai and I are standing, we see that there are people in this other room, but we just don't have a definitive idea of exactly how many there are in the room.
Yeah, because
There's
there's
a
a
lot of
wall
people.
stopping you.
There's a wall stopping us. So how many can we see from where we are?
The 2 ballista boys and then 3 other parts of 3 other people.
Parts
So-
of 3 other people. So at least 5.
Can we see the direction of the window? Or parts of the window?
You know where the window should be just through
Okay.
spatial remembrance.
Yep. But it's
If anyone wants to roll just a flat intelligence check to kind of figure out how many people you think could fit in there, I'm good
Sure.
with that.
sure.
Anyone?
Just
do-
those 2. You guys don't have that
Okay.
information.
I'll do it. Flat intelligence. 11.
Okay. Hooray, do you get anything higher?
11.
Cool. Between the 2
Make
of
a
you,
wish.
you think with the amount of space and how kind of shoved in they are, if they stop at the window, there's probably another 5 or 6 people in there. If they go further than that, there might be as many as a dozen people in that area.
Ugh.
What are the walls made out of?
Interior walls. They're
Drywall.
Drywall.
Well, this would
some
be-
stucco.
This is medieval
Oh,
esque. It's
sorry,
probably
yeah,
wood.
sorry.
yeah. So to say, this is
My bad.
before sheetrock.
Well, you were talking about medieval design and like.
Yeah, relatively thin material. They're not meant like you could, unless you're dealing with like a stud or something. It's wood. You know, you
Sorry,
can go through it pretty easy.
I'm imagining a medieval structure, but you look up, there's the popcorn ceiling.
It's like that is such. It's and Reggie's just sitting there going, "God, I don't understand why that was ever popular. It's a pain in the ass to fix."
I don't. God, we had servants that had that stood by it. I don't know why.
But yeah, unless you hit like that, it's an interior wall. You guys, I would, even with Reggie's vast knowledge of interior design, I don't think you guys would be able to recognize a load-bearing wall versus a non-load-bearing, but it's an interior wall.
And just to reconfirm, the ultimate reason why I'm casting knock on the window is to basically get it out of the way for incoming fireball.
Well, it's to.
Well, just for clarification, incoming fireball means the sigil, not in there. It means
Yes.
I'm doing the sigil.
So the idea was for Noctis to get them in the house if we open the window,
Hmm.
in case they have to get in the house, because the sigil area becomes a murder hole.
But now the question is, I'm hesitating to do that because if we
Right.
open that window,
A turn has
Like-
passed. A full 6 seconds has
Come
passed now.
on.
So
the
Smeg-
one thing I'm worried
Can
about is
you
if
something?
we open the window, all of those guys are going to be looking right at Smegwick and Owie.
I'm just
Cool.
going to say,
So let's do something behind them. What do I have in my pockets?
Hanses.
All
gonna-
of the Hanses. Hold on. Actually, need to see. what
Jody's
she's
being
got.
very nice. I'm going to have to be on his side, say use it or lose it.
I am. I'm about to. Hold on. I need to find out what season I am. Hold on. Because that's gonna affect something.
Because I have ideas too what to
Please
do to
refrain
these
from
guys, but I'm
speaking.
hesitant to use them because they never worked before.
That's okay. Do it. I'll fight.
You have a large Eladrin with a giant pointy metal object
I'm just gonna
that
throw.
he loves using.
If
And
you
I'm
would,
a squishy half-elf Zac Efron.
if you would just allow, I'll just like as
ahead.
another alternative, if you're worried about this, you also have Thunderwave.
That's what I was thinking, and I'm hesitating to using.
I'm damn Skippy. You kick that off in there. You're probably gonna blow the windows open, and that could be a cue too if you want.
Then you know
Yeah.
what? I think I will. I'm
Okay.
gonna silently step up from behind those guys. I'm gonna angle myself so that I'm on the other side of this wall, and my back is right on it. And I am gonna cast, because I just want to end this as quickly as possible. I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave at level 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
I will deal with saving throws for that in a second here. Arai, I'm basically giving you guys a surprise action here. When he does
Nice.
Thunderwave, what is there something that you want to do simultaneously with the Thunderwave?
Blowing a kiss.
Blowing a kiss. You can do that. Roll me a kiss check.
Yay!
Use
Uh,
insight to see if anyone looks single.
Everyone looks single.
Unless they have a ring, like...
Even then, it's questionable.
So, do you have something that you want to do? Or are you going to wait until the equivalent of initiative?
I am probably going to be prepared to fight, so have my pike out and
Okay, so just
Probably
ready
rage.
for whatever happens. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so a lot of stuff is going to happen really, really quickly when this happens. So let's start with what is the DC, Reggie?
DC, let's see, this is a 4th level, so DC is, they need to do a con save of 16 or higher.
I am going to roll 4 times for all of them.
And if they succeed on the save, they still take half damage.
Okay. The big thick boys in next to the device fail. Everyone else makes their save.
Okay.
Okay, so
The window doesn't get a save. So, what's going to happen? Go ahead and roll the damage for me. We'll deal with the damage in a second here. Smegwick, what you see, and more importantly, what you hear when all of this stuff goes on, you're waiting for the window to open. That is the signal, is my understanding of what you're waiting for, correct?
That was my understanding. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then that's what we're going on.
Okay,
You're sitting
so-
there
oh,
about they teleport away. A few seconds pass. You're going,
1,000, 3, 1,000.
nothing's happening. Something should be happening. We should be hearing something. And suddenly, this
1,000.
incredibly loud sound happens as you can hear up to 1,000 feet away. You see the window not just open, it is blown off of its hinges. The glass shatters and it flies across the thing. You watch as everyone inside just kind of goes down. The guy that was holding the bow drops his bow long enough to hold his ears. And you watch as 2 very, very large men are blown out the door.
Oh, that's right.
With a strange looking device that comes out in pieces. And as soon as that happens, everything goes crazy. All the other windows open up and a rain of arrows flies out. But
Shit.
the arrows are not pointed at the ground. They're pointed straight up.
What?
As that happens, the doors burst open and you start watching people running out, seemingly kind of oblivious to the fact that one of the groups is not working the way that it's supposed to, and they all step onto the sigil. If at any point you want to interrupt what I'm saying to take an action, just let me know.
As soon as the doors blow open, that's when I would have done the
That's
fire.
when you want to do the fireball? Okay.
Yep.
So, the windows
Can
blow
I
up.
have, is it possible, I was going to Misty Step, but would assisting with Scorching Ray do the job just as well?
You can't really assist with a spell cast. Like
No.
he's gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
So rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Door blasts open. You cast fireball at the same time that you're casting the fireball. All of the doors open, or all the windows open up. The arrows shoot straight up, and then the explosion happens.
Now, just to be clear, because this is the other thing I was going to do
Mhm.
when I was casting fireball, it's not going to be fireball.
It's going to be
It's going to start out as fireball, then Smegwick is going to
you gonna twist
transmute, and he's going to make it an acid ball.
Ooh.
it. Okay.
Because if anything's going to fuck up a sigil area,
Oh.
So the one thing I'm going to say, 20-foot radius, and it's a 20-foot diameter square. So, are you and Aoi going to step back a little bit to avoid being in it? Are you going to place the center of it closer to the other side so that you don't, like, how are you going to deal with not hitting you and Aoi? Because your space is going to fill much more than just.
well, because I can pick the spot, so
Yep.
just enough so it's away from us, but still
Okay,
obviously
just
we'll catch,
just
catch the
clarifying,
sigil.
because that also
Yeah.
means that the buildings closest to you are not going to be hit by it, but the buildings further away are going to be hit by more of it. Does that make sense? Because we know that fireball spreads around corners and things like that.
Yeah. If we want to go ahead and do that, I think if we're getting ready to go in the door, I think we can back up real quick. I do that, and then
Okay, so it's a little bit more centered.
Yeah.
Good. Because the main difference is going to be if you center it far enough away that you guys don't
Sure.
hit, I need saving throws from Reggie
Yeah.
and Arai.
we can do a little do-si-do because we're gonna missy stuff.
So yeah, so you
Yeah.
Intending
so
to.
what you're doing? So again, window gets blasted off, door gets blasted open. Two big dudes come out with their broken machine. At the same time, a fireball is shot. The rest of the windows go up. The arrows shoot straight up into the air, and people start opening the doors, only to find a wall of acidic fire come and blast all of them. I do not want to roll that many saving throws. so
Well,
I'm just going to roll for each.
if it does make it easier for you, my intention was to fuck up the sigil, not them. So I'll leave it up to
They
you.
There-
still ran out into acid rain.
Yeah, they're
so-
still going to get hit by it. So I'm
Well,
just going to... There's a grand total of 3 other buildings. So I'm going to make
Did they
a roll
run
for
out
each
quick
building.
enough? Did they run out quick enough?
They're
for that
not
to happen?
running out. They're opening the door to let the fire in. Or the acid in.
Oh.
Because again,
Oh my.
they're not reacting to you casting the spell. They had their own trigger that
Yeah.
you guys inadvertently did.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Okay.
they just assume the plan's going the way it's supposed to. They open the door and there's fire. So I'm just going to make 3 rolls, and that will count for everybody in those buildings. But I need to know your DC.
Okay. The DC for that. Let me just back down.
I may not need to
I
know your
swear to
DC.
God, of all the things I thought,
That's
I didn't
better.
think it was gonna be Smegwick casting this spell. Dexterity 17.
Well,
I
2
saw
of
the
the
defeat on your
groups.
face when you
I
said
rolled a
that.
5 and a 2. I'm like, it really doesn't matter what the save is. The third one was high enough to make the save. The first 2.
Okay.
So, to kind of bring everything back together.
Okay.
Reggie, boom, super super loud sound. Smegwick hears it, has the spell ready, is just waiting for the signal. The spell fires off. You guys see this red kind of bolt of light go, and as it gets to the point where it's about to erupt, you just kind of twist your hand, and it goes from red to green, and this wave of acid sprays out. You watch as the windows open up, the arrows shoot straight into the sky, the doors open up, people start running out and are instantly hit by this acidic wave. You hear a bunch of people cry out in agony. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
Okay. I do have a question after this.
Sure.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of
While he's rolling damage, Reggie,
30.
you rolled your damage earlier.
Yeah, the people that did not make their save got a full 32 points of thunder damage,
Okay.
and the people that did make their save still got 16.
All right. So, the two very large refrigerator-shaped men that fell out of the door, when the acid hits them, it eats away large portions of their body, and it doesn't look like they're getting up.
If it does matter as well, I'll go ahead and tell you, since I have elemental affinity, so it's actually technically 35.
35. They're still dead. It doesn't seem to have killed anyone else because they're relatively high-level baddies. But they are very.
You heard
much
him.
not
You heard him. He
enjoying
said
this.
baddies. He said baddies. You heard him.
They're
Conscious
very
clear.
much,
Conscious clear.
They're very much not very happy right now. However, after that all happens, it seems that things are kind of already set in motion. Aside from the building that Arai and Reggie is in, which is in the most disarray, everyone else is still doing their best to kind of stick to the plan. And so you see them kind of bringing out these strange devices and kind of setting them up. And then you see the sigil itself doesn't seem to have been damaged by the acid somehow, which again seems very, very strange. And you realize that the sigil itself has activated, and the area where the sigil is, you guys start hearing this strange sound of stone scraping against stone, and the entire area starts lifting up into the air. When it reaches the top, the people that all kind of poured out there, who now have these large acid spots all over them, unfold these basically movable ballistae, take these massive warhammers and drive stakes into the ground to put them, and then you see this anti-magic field appear at the top as the last of the sigil ends.
Oh no.
And everyone on there has weapons trained, looking to the sky for something, and there's nothing there.
Wait, are we on the now floating platform, or
No,
are we
you
still
guys
down
are still
on the ground?
inside. You guys
We're
now
still
have
inside.
a giant pillar of stone blocking your vision from the rest of.
Okay,
the
yeah,
party. Sure.
it all sounded weird to me for a moment.
Sure.
My next question is going to be: do these guys look like Sovereignty, or do they look like someone else?
Sovereignty.
They do look like Sovereignty.
They do.
Okay.
They're all wearing sovereignties. This is stuff.
Okay.
With all the stuff that they did they just not notice us?
Well, now that you guys are in there, and you literally saw the acid fire come right up to your noses and stop. You can see all the people, most of the people in your building are dead. The combination of acid and even making their saves on the thing, they're really, really close. There's probably about 5 people left in your building that are not currently dead. And they're just kind of looking around. They see you, and Reggie, you're still in your guard uniform. They look completely perplexed. And then one of them kind of comes over, kind of grabs you by the arm, goes, "We've got to get out of here. The attack's starting," and starts trying to drag you out in another way.
Okay,
just
I
like, go, go,
instantly
go, go,
like
go, 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 go.
I instantly get into character while he's dragging me away. Like, what direction is it coming from?
Don't know. And he's dragging you through, and eventually you guys come to a wall that he just does I can't think. He kicks it, and the wall just collapses, and it empties out to, where's my mouse? There it is. It empties out here, so that you're right next to the murder tower. And when he comes out, he instantly knocks a bow, aims it up, and looks for something that's not there.
Okay, I play along with him. I'm looking up at the sky as well. Do you see anything?
No! Where the hell are these things?
I don't know. It just came from nowhere.
We're not in an anti-magic field, so watch out for the eye stalks.
I'm not seeing anything right now. Blast, where did it come from?
Fall back to the tower. We have cover in there.
Right. Stay right here. Stay right here. Give me just a moment. I'll see if it's safe over there. And I walk by myself to rejoin the rest of the party.
Okay, you'll have a pretty decent way to walk around. Arai, you saw your friend get pulled off, and everyone else seems to be kind of following in that direction,
Yep.
oblivious to you being there.
Uh,
What would you like to do, Arai?
Arai's going to sort of go with the flow and sort of try to
Okay.
blend in as much as he can. If
So-
there's any of the extra ballista packs on the ground, he will pick them up.
They unfortunately went out the door with the people.
I wasn't certain if more people were had them. Okay.
If you want, there are a lot of spare quivers and bolt cases in there. Half of them are destroyed with acid, but there's still a few if you want to pick up any of those.
Nah,
Okay.
not my thing.
So as you get out, you would have heard the exact same thing. Watch for the eye stalks. Head for the tower. There's cover there. And everyone else is kind of spreading out. Of the 5 guards that are still alive, 3 of them are trying to find their way. You're assuming there's a back entrance to the murder tower because they're not going to the front. So they're circling around the back, and then the other 2 are in defensive positions just looking for attackers.
Okay, I've already walked away from the guy, so now as I'm walking towards, I see the people. Let's see, where am I right now?
So you
Where did
were
the guy
here.
yank me off to?
You were here, and the rest of the party is down here. So if you want to go around the back of the building, let's just say it'll take you 2 turns. So in the time that Reggie is doing that, Arai, are you going to follow Reggie? Are you going to follow the people trying to get into the tower? What do you want to do?
Arai's gonna keep following the people going into the tower because the ones who are actually besides the guards who are aiming at the sky, what do the rest of them sort of look like, and what are they saying, and do they have weapons drawn?
Everybody has weapons drawn. The ones that are looking for a way into the murder tower, because of what just happened, they are like this far away from hysterical.
Okay.
You hear bits and pieces of conversation. Despite there being only 3, they're not really talking to each other. They're just talking. They are really shaken up. You hear the phrase, "I thought we were safe in there. How did they know? We're fucked. We're going to die. This isn't how I wanted to go. I'm hungry."
Whatever's
Yeah.
verbal diary.
But they're unbelievably
Game over,
shaken.
man. Game over.
Game over, man!
All right, so Arai's just gonna.
Are they in the walls? They're in the walls.
Arai's just gonna sort of join in that chatter and basically start asking probing questions, like, who was that? Was that who? Like, what was that? And just trying to see what they're going to respond to, because I imagine since they anticipated it was going to be from someone, it would likely say something.
Yeah, these 3 specific people are so shaken right now that you're not getting any information. You think the 2 people that are holding guard, they seem to have a little bit better head on their shoulders. You think if you talk to them, you'll have a better chance of getting information. These people are just desperately, like, they're pushing random bricks and trying, it's obvious to you, they're trying to find a secret entrance.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're not finding it.
Okay. Arai's going to go up to one of the guards in panic and basically attempt to do the same thing, while trying to make it seem like you need to rescue me because I'm important, so find this secret passage for me.
Cool. Make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Cool.
Where is this happening right now? Where's Arai doing this?
Literally right here. While you went south, she went north. Or he went north. I apologize. He went
Would
north.
it be possible for me to see what was going
Yeah,
on? Because I
that's
don't think
fine.
I went. Could I assist
No.
Arai?
I got a 26.
Never
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
I would say since you were planning on going south, you wouldn't be able to assist anyway because you're now just realizing this. And Arai, they look at you and they go, "Blade singers are different than I thought." And 2 of them, now seeing that they have a purpose, each one grabs one of your arms and starts trying to hurry you to a safe place.
Perfect. So as soon as they say Blade Singer, I'm going to try and put on the more a persona closer to my dad's.
Okay. I would assume when you were a kid, you probably blade sing a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a blade singer too. And then you pick up the pike and
Yeah, Dad tried. It didn't stick.
It
But
didn't
he
stick, but-
did his best.
Oh my.
He did his best. I know some things. I'm like, it's like conversational. I
Yeah,
understand. more than I
I'm
speak.
I'm a conversational blade singer. I'm not quite fluent in blade singing, but I'm conversational.
I know kitchen blade singing.
So yeah, you immediately like the thing about blade singing is it is a dance. Like anyone that is not familiar with it will think that they are dancing, and so you
Right.
immediately start walking mostly on the balls of your feet, and you start playing a
Leaning.
rhythm in your head, and every step that you take has kind of purpose and everything, and they just kind of go with it because they obviously have never seen a blade singer before. So they have no
With a
idea
pike.
that you normally don't use a pike. And so they just having something to do has kind of regained their resolve. And they're starting to realize what they're doing. They very, very quickly find the secret door, open it, and one of them kind of goes behind you to kind of cover your back, and then they kind of shove you in as quickly as they can and very quickly try to close the door behind you to ensure that you are safe.
Okay. Can Arai take one of his javelins and kind of make it stick or like slam it into the ground so the door doesn't completely close? Basically, try
Make
to
me
put
a
it
sleight of
in the door.
hand check.
Ooh.
While all this is going on, we'll come back to that. Smegwick and Owie, you guys just saw this giant pillar of ground. You saw everything go up. Smegwick, you recognize an anti-magic field.
On the area.
Yeah,
above.
area up there.
Yeah,
Technically, it's a sphere, but it's high enough up that it's not affecting you guys at all.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
if it was just that area, they got roasted up.
Well, that wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah, that was different. Yeah, that was different from what we were expecting.
So now what do we do?
I don't hear any fighting in there. I'm guessing we're still gonna Misty Step inside.
Okay.
Well, you can't because you no longer have line of sight because there's
Oh.
a giant rock pillar. in the
Oh, so
way.
it did completely raise up to
Yeah,
that
it
level
is
where it's
the
blocking.
entire center area here. Basically, everywhere where that sigil was.
Oh, column. I was thinking like magic, right? But that would
No,
make
it's a
sense because-
giant column.
Oh.
Okay.
Again, still very Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's just this giant column of rock.
Well, shit. Not to be. I don't want to be too meta about this, but if we can't go in, obviously we're gonna go there. So obviously we're gonna like. Just a second. Trying to. Okay. Obviously, I think we would go like back outside and go around the corner, thinking we would
Okay.
try and look for a spot.
So by the time
okay.
you guys would get around, you would probably see two of the guards kind of holding Arai, as Arai looked very fluid and kind of shoving Arai into a wall while the other one kind of stayed back and kept again aiming at the sky. You can see Reggie is slightly in front of you, kind of observing all of this stuff. And what did you get for your sleight of hand?
17.
17. Yeah, they're panicked enough. They wouldn't notice it. You watch
There's
as
enough chaos.
there's enough chaos. You watch as the door closes, but there is a very, very visible gap. Whereas before, when the door was there, it was completely flush and you couldn't really see it. So you guys can tell where the secret door is, and the other people that are there are looking quite proud of themselves that they have protected the Blade Singer, and now they're just waiting for something bad to happen. But again, they're aiming up. They don't seem to be worrying about anyone in the ground level.
So we come around the corner. Do we run into Reggie?
Yeah.
Well, you run into Reggie's back because he was kind of watching all this stuff.
Get go.
Ugh.
Hey, you saw all that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kicked it off. Yeah.
Technically, I did. Okay, look.
That's very true.
Oh.
Yeah, they took Arai. They're in that tower right now. She left it open for us. Let's go. Sorry.
Arai, when
He's
you
not
go
in a dress
in,
anymore.
it takes a little bit for your eyes to kind of adjust to the light differences. But as you look around, there are dozens of guards all wielding longbows that are just kind of looking at you like you just dropped a turd in a punch bowl.
Rude.
But they're not. None of them are aiming at you, and you can see like the tower itself has effectively been modified slightly, so that it is just platform, murder holes, staircase up, platform, murder holes. Like the entire inside of the tower is just a place where you can kind of put people so they can shoot out.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
One other thing, because of telepathic communication, so it gives me a little bit more. Did anything kick off from Spitwit? I'm only bringing it up because I do have the telepathic communication. We just kicked off Bedlam.
Spitwick would have. Remind me? Does the telepathic communication only work within 100 feet, or is it further than that? Because Spitwick currently is a little more. If they're where they are right now, they're more than 100 feet away from you.
He's probably just doing a kitty.
I have to look up the familiar portion. God dang it. Where? 100 feet, you communicate telepathically.
Okay. So if you want
I
to
would presumably
replace,
Yep.
if the goal was to just stay in communication,
Yeah.
I would say probably this would be as far. So if you want Spitwit to just be there, Spitwick probably would have sent a message back, roughly translated, would have been, "What the fuck are you doing?" But nothing from Spitwick about people showing up. Like, everybody in the area is aware that this has just happened.
Anyone else freaking out, or just our little area?
Spitwick's not telling you anything else.
Okay.
He's just kind of, again, he just went,
Okay.
"What are you doing?" So, back to Reggie, Aoi, and Smegwick.
Okay.
Again, there's now 3 guards outside that are kind of guarding the secret exit, that seem oblivious to the fact that the secret exit is not nearly as secret as it normally is. What would you all like to do?
Well, I'm still in my guard uniform, and they a lot of them already think that I'm one of them, so I could probably figure out something to say to like get them out of the way.
So, what do you
I'm
want
not-
to
I'm-
do? It's a great plan. What do you want to do?
Is the door? I'm sorry, just for clarification, is the door open or is it like a jar?
It's
There's like a door stop in the way.
it slid closed, and because there's a javelin in the way, there's a very, very noticeable seam that you can see. But it is technically closed. It's just not flush.
Majority of the soldiers are distracted by whatever death from above they think is going to happen. So I could probably just walk up to these guys and just tell them to. I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to them and I'm just gonna be in full guard persona like before, and I'm just gonna say, "What's the situation? Are they safe?"
Yeah, they turn to you and go, "We found one of the blade singers. We've got them safe in the guard tower. We figured that was the safest place. Where's the negotiator?"
Negotiators on their way right now, but we still got some time before they actually arrive. Right now, we got a bunch of hurt soldiers over there. Get over there. Make sure they're properly taken care of. Okay, I'll stand guard over here.
They look confused for a second, but then you mention hurt soldiers. Go ahead and make me persuasion or deception, whichever you like better.
I'm gonna
but
go with deception. Oh, with disadvantage. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay,
Just
gonna
told
go
them
with.
the leader station.
Gonna
No,
go with
you just told them that the negotiator who's guarded by blade singers isn't here yet, and somehow the blade singer
blade
arrived
singer is
before them.
here.
Oh shit! God damn it! All right.
Do you have inspiration or anything?
So, deception check with disadvantage. Let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Roll 1. That's a 24.
Okay.
And the second one is a 25. So
Ah.
24.
So they seem really confused when you say that uh, the person isn't there yet. But when you mention that there are soldiers that need help, and again, these people are grasping for a purpose at this point. They are terrified of what's going on. You have just given them something that makes them feel important. Where are you pointing them to? Like, what direction are you telling them to go to find these
I'm
injured
pointing them
soldiers?
to the buildings with the giant freaking stone pillar coming out of
So
them
the-
where there was just an explosion.
So the building that they just left, that they just cleared, you're saying that there's more injured soldiers in there.
Yes.
Cool. So they run in, and you figure it's probably going to take them maybe 5 minutes to realize all the bodies in there are corpses, and realize that they've been lied to. So you guys have 5 minutes. What do you want to do?
Okay, they're gone. Let's go
Yeah.
inside. Now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we're bugging.
Okay.
We're going into the guard tower.
But as soon as we go in, I take the javelin out.
Okay. So
Yeah.
while this is going on, Arai, you are surrounded by people with weapons that aren't pointed at you yet, but are very perplexed as to why a very large, muscular Eladrin man is in there.
So, Serge going up the tower, places to shoot from. How high can I see that?
Basically, the center of the
Sorry.
tower is effectively, you can see all the way to the top of the tower.
Right. So sorry. How far up do I see people, or are they all right now currently?
The tower itself would probably be like 6 stories. There are multiple people in every story. This tower is packed.
Okay.
Ooh.
There's
Arai-
easily 100 people in here.
Okay.
Hi,
Let's see.
kitty.
So I want Arai to do one of two things: either run, basically just book it to the top without saying anything, making it look like it was really urgent, or sort of, because he was mistaken for a blade singer. We do know that there are 2 blade singers. See if they know where else the negotiator could have been kept.
Okay? So both of those are viable options, but I
Yeah.
do need you to choose one.
I know. I'm going for interrogation, or not interrogation, and pressing questions.
Okay.
It's not interrogating; it's pressing questions.
So, with who you are, I will allow you to do deception or intimidation.
Okay. They're the same. I'm gonna use intimidation though because it's funnier. Do I have inspiration? I do have inspiration. I'm gonna use inspiration.
Okay.
Check. 18 and 3. 18.
18. Okay, so
Wait, 17, 18, 19. 19, I'm sorry, I can math. It's plus
Okay.
2.
So-
19.
So you, everyone is looking at you. You realize that the lie that you used out there, because these guys didn't just get hit by a thunder wave and then a fireball that turned into acid, probably not going to be quite as pliable. So you switch your tactics a little bit. Instead of trying to be, oh yes, you should save me, you go into kind of crisis mode. Listen, I've been separated from the person that I'm guarding, because you don't know he's called the negotiator just yet.
Right.
I've been separated from my other blade singer and the person that I'm guarding. Where are they? And as they're sitting there, some of them are going, wait a minute, we don't know who you are. And that is like, I don't care. I need to know where this person is. We got separated. Where would you guys take him? Because I need to get there immediately or he's going to die. And as they're sitting there going, probably if he's not here, probably the tavern. That's the most fortified position. But there's glyphs and explosions and things in the street. If he's in the tavern right now, he's as safe as he's going to be. And your best bet is just stay here where it's safe. Unless you have some magical blade singing beholder killers, you're probably going to be better off just staying in here and letting us take care of them.
Do we hear that?
No, there's a really
No.
thick wall between.
With thick walls, okay.
It's a tower that's apparently they think is going to protect them from a beholder.
Yeah.
A beholder dragon.
Beholders. That's the aim of the ice dogs. So Arai's just going to start to look. Sorry. The emotion is going to drain off of Arai's face, and he's just going to look really flat and really pissed off simultaneously. And he's just going to turn around and he's going to try and kick the wall door open, and if it doesn't budge, he's going to basically threaten someone until they open it and let him out.
Okay. You saw how the door worked, so
Right.
you know the method. If you want to open it in an angry manner, you can totally do
Yes.
that.
Okay. Yes.
So you
Yes,
do
please.
that, and you are immediately faced with Smegwick, Reggie, and Owie, who were trying to find a way to open the door right as it just opens up. And for you guys, as you're sitting there going, okay, well, we see the seam. There's got to be it just goes, boom, and suddenly a very angry-looking Arai is standing in front of you.
Where
Okay.
is the tavern from where we are?
It's the big building in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I was thinking the chicken
Okay.
place. All right. Perfect.
At that.
So,
Oh, sorry.
Arai's going to immediately just start running and yell at you guys. Follow me.
Okay.
Okay, so you
And
guys
he's going to
have.
start running towards the tavern.
Uh,
Do.
go
No,
ahead.
never mind. No, never mind. Never mind. I know the answer to it. So no. Never
Do you,
mind.
do you
Keep
guys
going.
want to do you guys want to follow Arai? Do you want to try and
Okay.
figure out what's going on? What are the rest of you doing? Arai is making a beeline for the tavern.
And try to figure out what's going on the way.
Okay, but you're
Yep.
going with Arai.
Yeah.
Okay, Smegwick, Reggie, you guys.
Sorry.
I got something I might do. I'm just trying to figure out if it would be a good idea.
Okay, so Arai, you had something.
Yeah, I was about to say, I imagine,
Oliver, what?
starting to book it towards
Kitty.
towards the tavern.
Yeah, cat wants in, cat wants out.
Okay, Arai.
Since... Okay, sorry.
Mhm.
The rest of the streets are still quiet, correct? Relatively.
Yeah, for the
There's
most
no
part.
additional commotion.
Not that you can see. No.
Okay, perfect. So I want Arai to start running towards the tavern then, and then as soon as he notices that, hey, there's not really anything else moving or going in that direction, sort of loop over. Oops, sorry. Oh, why am I moving that? I'm so sorry.
That's fine. It lets me know where you are. That's all that matters.
Try to loop over to the other side where there's one, no visibility from the door in the entryway, but two, also out of the way, so that they get the idea that he's running towards the tavern, but he can still have that communication with Reggie and Aoi.
Sure.
And Smeg.
So you make a big scene like you are going for the tavern. As soon as you're out of line of sight, you modify and you just find a blind spot.
Yep.
Makes sense. So the rest of you watch Arai do this, and then Arai finds basically there is a large set of stairs that goes up, like the kind of base level of the tower is probably about 8 feet above the ground. So you can actually go right next to the stairs that go in, and that's effectively a blind spot right there.
Perfect.
So you guys are all kind of sitting in this blind spot. What do you want to do? Do you want to ask the right
What?
questions?
What the hell?
What happened?
What's
So
your
they're
plan?
preparing to fight beholders.
And
So all of this might be set up to protect whoever it is coming here from beholders
There's also supposed to be
who
a
might be
fate,
bringing beholders.
or maybe they're expecting this is the bait. This is what they were expecting. This whole thing's a setup.
So, if anything went down, he is supposed to be, or the person and the Blade Singers are supposed to be in the tavern because that is the second securest place, besides the murder tower I was just in, which is full of a whole
Okay.
bunch of people with arrows. So, if we're going to disrupt things further, to the tavern.
Go to the
Okay.
tavern. We go to the tavern.
But we know enough not to go in the front door.
Yes, we know enough not to go in the front door, or to look like
Okay.
beholders.
So as you guys are speaking, you suddenly start noticing that it starts getting darker around
Oh,
you,
no.
like the sun is setting or something akin to that. And as you kind of look towards the sky, you see this massive floating skull
Oh no.
starting to descend from above. Orbiting the skull are these 10 translucent eyes that seem to just be going in random spots. And traveling with it, you can see 2 other full-grown beholders, normal beholders, coming in, and then a few other kind of smaller things just kind of coming around. It doesn't, from where you are, it doesn't seem to be looking at you, and kind of positioning yourself strategically, you can get to a point where you're mostly hidden from it, and you don't think there's a huge danger of it seeing you. As it comes forward, you hear the sound of metal scraping against stone, and then you hear the sound of a ballista bolt being fired, and then the sound of something breaking as the ballista that were hit with all the acid seem to have only been able to get one shot off before they were destroyed. But you see a bunch of ballista bolts fly forward, and the 2 beholders with this kind of go in and take 3 ballista bolts apiece and fall to the ground. And the giant skull looks down, and you hear this deep, resonant sound.
Oh, God.
And he looks down, and you watch as the beholders that have just died slowly start to rise up. They don't seem to be alive, but they're definitely moving around. Seems quite a few of their eye stalks are no longer working, and they have, as they float through the air, they remind you much more of zombies than they do of beholders.
Do any of us recognize what this skull could possibly be?
If anyone wants to roll an Arcana check, I would say Aoi might have read about something like this, and Smegwick
I made
might
a
have
beholder
heard.
roll. I made a beholder roll last time we rolled about beholders.
Yeah, this is even more rare than a beholder. So yeah, I'd say Smegwick and Aoi might be aware of it. I guess Arai, you might have heard legends of this as well, but this would be something that Reggie's never dealt with. So
So what am I rolling?
Arcana,
Okay.
Okay, 17.
17. Okay,
19.
19. Okay, Smegwick,
13.
13. I would say, Arai, you have heard legends of beholders that were so terrified of their own death that they tried to come up with a way to circumvent that. But beyond that, you have no idea. The rest of you have never heard of a cuckoo creature like this. It looks like a beholder skull with kind of spectral eyes floating around it. But beyond that, you've got nothing. You've never heard of a being like this before.
Dad.
As the beholder is, the large skull is sitting there, it turns towards where the ballista used to be, and a bunch of arrows start flying towards it, and it just kind of moves far enough away that they just kind of fall. You watch a beam go towards it, and the beam just dissipates at the edge of the anti-magic field. And if a skull could smirk, you would assume that's what it's doing. And then these small-ish, medium-sized white globes just start going into there. And when they get in, you watch as a single eye inside opens up, this kind of blood-red eye, and 10 tentacles sprout from them with mouths on the end of each tentacle, and they start devouring everyone on there. This is a very strange way to start a negotiation. I can't say that I am surprised, though. Now that I have shown you how futile your efforts are, perhaps we can move forward. And the creature slowly starts drifting down, and as it crosses into the road, a massive explosion happens. Rocks fly everywhere. As the dust settles, it's still sitting there, though looking slightly more cross, if a skull could look cross. And suddenly beams start shooting out from it, and it destroys all of the road around here. And then goes up to the door, and you see another beam go and strike. There's a bell there, and the beam strikes the bell, and you watch it pull on a chain, and it rings the bell, rings the doorbell. And a few minutes pass, nothing happens. Eventually, the big double doors of the tavern slowly open to see a single person standing there, absolutely paper white, trembling as they open the door. The two undead beholders slowly move their way in. The large skull moves in with it. You hear a scream, and suddenly the corpse of the person that opened this door slowly shambles out and closes the door behind itself and stands guard.
This is what we were supposed to stop.
I need a drink.
Yeah.
What do you all want to do?
We're still playing? Oh, jeez.
Hasn't ended it yet.
I think we need to panic for a second while we get our bearings in.
Just fine.
That beholders have skulls?
They
That
have
one does.
They have negotiations?
They don't. They're undead? All of the questions.
They have negotiations?
Well, it's probably like you give me your body or you lose your body. You know, willingly versus unwillingly.
I think Coriel Strax sent an ambassador.
Remind me of that name?
That's
Beholder
the
dragon.
beholder dragon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh God, forgot it had a name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily enough for you guys, all of the traps on the road have been disarmed
Oh,
due to being
joy.
disintegrated. And it doesn't seem like there's anything other than a single zombie that's just standing outside the front door. Doesn't seem that there's anything else between you guys and the tavern if you wanted to try and sneak in to observe the negotiations. Otherwise, you're relatively certain that the entirety of the city is going to be focused on this spot. So if there's anything else you want to do in the city, probably pretty simple right now.
I'm gonna go get some chicken.
Okay. So do you guys want
Been a while.
you want drumstick, breast, thigh? What are you guys thinking? Strips? Tenders?
Strips.
Chicken tendies?
I don't imagine too much more is going to be active after a giant beholder.
They're actually wanting to have negotiations with it already right now. I'm kind of wondering, like, what if we did let Aqueous kill the guy?
but
Aqueous
that's-
wasn't going to kill the guy. They were fucking around with everything. That was a big fuck you, undead, beholder, lich, whatever the fuck that thing is. We don't really have anything else we can do here.
No, we do not.
But
Let's
we
do
can-
that.
We can figure out what. We can try and figure out what they're negotiating, or what they're talking about.
It's up to you guys. I just need to know what you want to do.
We need information. If this is something that's going to keep chasing us, or we're going to have to keep dealing with, what are they negotiating and why?
I hate to say
Why
it,
is
but
he here?
Arai's right.
All right.
What is
So-
the range of distance between where we are at and the corner
Uh,
of the, like say, of
the streets
group?
themselves are about 15, 20 feet wide. So you're on
Okay.
one side of it. It's about, to get into the building, you're looking at like a 25, 30 foot teleport if you wanted to teleport into it.
Oh, great. So I'm going to summon Spitwit.
Okay.
So basically dismiss and then remiss, and I'm gonna put him up on the roof
Okay.
and see if he can't get access that way.
Sure. Something that Spitwick would probably recognize pretty quickly. It seems like the roof and the walls have been lined with lead. So,
Would lead interfere with telepathic?
lead will interfere with most divination and magic. Like an inch, I think it's an inch of lead will actually stop like some spells from working and other things like that.
Scrying.
Yeah. So, however, there are windows and things like that. So, if they want to physically get in, it's not that big a deal. But I'm more telling you that this building has been protected.
From scry, so but will that prevent from the eavesdropping
Um,
via Spitwit?
no, as long as there's a window near enough, it should be fine. There's
Okay.
still the idea that it's a magical being walking around, so it can still physically be caught. But what I'm saying is, it's going to have to physically go inside the building. It's not going to be able to do anything through a wall or something. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So where I've teleported him, where I put him, can he get inside?
Yeah, he can find a way in.
Okay.
I'll need a stealth check from him to see if he can get in without people noticing him. But
God.
In the meantime, we should move out of the line of sight of the zombie.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
the zombie does not seem to be really looking anywhere.
He
Just kind of
doesn't
standing
care.
there.
No.
Okay.
Zombie holder doesn't care.
Okay. Here we go. Third time's a charm. There we go. All right. Sorry, I was going through rolls. I kept hitting self. Okay. So 15 plus 4, 19.
Smegwick has a bit of difficulty because all the windows are closed.
Spitwit.
Spitwick, sorry. Spitwick has a bit of difficulty at first because all the windows are closed, and he has pause. But eventually he's able to kind of find a window that he's able to kind of jimmy open and makes it in, and slowly kind of moves his way around until it seems that the negotiations are taking place in the kind of center of the tavern, and there is an upper level to the tavern that seems to have been evacuated. And so Spitwit just kind of finds a spot that feels comfortable and just kind of plops down and looks like he's just kind of chilling, sleeping there, keeping one eye
having a
open.
cat nap.
Yeah, keeping one eye open enough so that he can see what's going on as the negotiations start. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, again, that is all for me today. I will see you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye.